I talked about the type of sewing machine that every guy wants in a previous video, and this machine has those features. This is a Brother LS2-B837. I talked about the type of sewing machine that every guy wants in a previous video. Now in that video I talked about features that you should look for in a machine. There's some good information in there. You might want to check it out here. So if you're looking to sew wallets and tarps and upholstery, bags, this machine is going to be very well suited for that. Now if you want to do shirts and underwear, socks, I don't know, gloves, this is not your machine. But you know, the every guy seems to want to sew upholstery and leather, and this machine will do projects up to, say, according to the manual, the foot lift on this will go 16 millimeters. 16 millimeters is 5/8 of an inch thick. So you should be able to sew a 1/2 inch thick material on this. Now this machine has oil reservoirs. There's one in the top and there's one in the bottom that the hook operates out of. It has a dipstick right here that you can check the oil level. There's also oiling wicks in the machine. Right here is not exactly a reservoir, but an area where there is like a big felt pad that a lot of wicks run off of, like an octopus underneath here, and you fill that up through here, and it keeps those wicks oiled, and those wicks keep everything oiled very well. So while it is not exactly automatic, it does have some features that do automatically oil the hook and some items in the top. So this machine, I really like how it takes care of lubrication. But check out underneath this machine. This thing is beef. I mean, there's a lot of metal in this thing. Here's that oil reservoir I was talking about that the hook operates out of. This thing is heavy duty. It's a heavy machine. There's a lot of metal in here. The machining is just second to none. This machine looks great. If you're into the mechanics of a machine, this thing is beautiful. Not to mention, very clean. This machine is a little longer than your standard sewing machine. The hole on this table is about 20 1/4. Typically industrial sewing machines are 18 3/4. So this machine is longer at its base. Now the arm to needle distance is about the same as your standard sewing machine. In this case, 9 1/2. This machine is easy to thread. It's got triple feed. Brother calls it Unison feed. Other manufacturers call it compound feed. But there are 3 types of feeding mechanism on this machine. There's a drop feed, a walking foot, and needle feed. This is what you want when you want to do leather and upholstery and those things that tend to be thicker, stickier, and that's really good when you want to go buy seams and whatnot. That will help you walk over them and positively feed that project through so that you get nice stitches that are all the same length. This will make nice big stitches, up to 8 millimeters long. The bobbins in this machine are massive. This thing has a very large bobbin and hook in it. As a matter of fact, the bobbin in this machine is actually bigger than the Juki 1508. So if you're familiar with that machine, you know that this is big. I tried, and these bobbins won't fit into the 1508. Super big bobbins, which is nice. You can put large thread on there and get quite a bit on there so you don't have to change bobbins out as often. Now it's not the biggest bobbin, but for a machine like this, it's about as big as you're going to get. In spite of the fact that this machine has a massive bobbin and hook, it's capable of sewing up to 3,000 stitches per inch. Now I think that speaks to the engineering that goes into this machine to allow it to run such large components at such high speeds. This is amazing. It's top loading. Changing out your bobbins is pretty easy. This was made in Japan. So this machine is built in such a way that it's going to stand up to the rigors of sewing very thick materials. It's got a nice big hand wheel. This machine has a safety clutch, which you can reset it with this button here. Here's a nice feature. There's a wing nut on the back of the machine that allows you to easily adjust the alternating presser foot height. The adjustment is made to lower the alternating height or increase the alternating height. So we can adjust the feet from just a small amount of alternating foot height. So you can see that the feet don't lift up very far. Now I'm going to adjust it to the extreme other end. Now our feet will step higher compared to one another. This allows the machine to walk over seams and differences of height more effectively. By adjusting it lower, you'll reduce the amount of vibration and make for smoother sewing when the additional height is not needed. I typically just set it in the middle, and it works for most applications. So we'll just sew on some vinyl. This makes a nice big stitch if you want to. So it's very smooth. Reverse is real easy to use on this. A lot of people like the paddle style. So this is 4 layers of vinyl. We'll double it up again. So this is 8 layers of vinyl. It goes under there pretty easy. Lengthen the stitches. No problem. The machine runs out real nice. Thanks a lot for watching my video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video.